the Arctic Monkeys. So for this lesson, just be going over the main riff that pretty much repeats throughout the entire song. It's quite a tricky riff, especially to sing with simultaneously, but with a bit of practice you'll get there. So it's all happening on the E, A and D strings. A lot of slides, a lot of hammer-ons. So the first bit of the riff is happening on the first fret of the E string and the third fret of the E string. And as well as that, the first fret of the A string. So the first bit is a hammer-on from the first fret of the E to the third fret. And a hammer-on is when you're placing a finger like this on the fret and then playing that string. And then I prefer to use my pinky in this instance, but yeah, this pinky comes and hammers on like that. So if you haven't used a hammer-on before, be definitely worth trying to practice that. Maybe move up and down the fret or whatever you feel's best, but yeah. And then from that hammer-on onto the third fret of E, you're coming down to the first fret of the A string. And back to that third fret on the E, so it's like this. Hammer on from 1 to 3 on the E, first of A, back to the third of E. From there, you're repeating that again, basically, so. When you get to this, when you get to that first on the A, instead of coming back to the third on the E, you're sliding from the first fret of the D string to the third and back to that first fret on the D string. So. And if you haven't done slides before, I'd recommend just going from that first fret on the D to the third fret on the D, back and forth. Like that. And then after that, there's another slide. So it's between two frets, like the previous slide. It's on the third fret of the A string, and you're sliding back and forth between that and the fifth on the A string. So far you have, and then the second, and that completes the second slide. Okay, so we're on to the sort of final part of the riff now, and we're starting on the 6th fret of the E string. So you've gone from so you go 6th of the E to the 3rd of A to the 5th of A, back to the 3rd. So it should pretty much just sound like that. So far it's it's pretty much the same, although there's a slight change at the end. You're starting on the 6th of the E again, and you go. So you go from 6 to 3 to 5 on the A, to 6 on the E, to 3rd on the A, 5th on the A, and then you're playing out twice. And instead of going back to the 6th on the E, you're going to the 3rd of the E instead. And then you're back right where you started again, with that hammer on from the 1st to the 3rd fret of E, followed by the 1st of A. So yeah, if you keep it in sections, those sort of big 3 sections, you should be able to nail it within no time. So yeah, lots of slides, lots of hammer-ons. Quite difficult to play while singing, like I said, but nothing too crazy. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe for any more tutorials or any more guitar related content that you'd like to see. Thanks again. Cheers.